Hi, I'm James Feinstein. I am a pediatrician at Children's Hospital Colorado, and I am a PI here at Accords. I'm a clinical researcher who is focused on the population of children with medical complexity, and I investigate drug safety in this population of kids in regards to their polypharmacy and complex medication regimens. I have been at Accords since 2010, so I think it's safe to say that I have gone through all of my developmental stages as a clinical researcher here at Accords. And I wanted to comment on a few of the unique aspects of Accords that have really made it a place where you can grow into a researcher, but also continue to be very successful as a researcher throughout your career. So first, Accords really does support all levels and stages of clinical research. So whether you are a fellow who is sitting in the Primary Care Research Fellowship here at Accords or the SCORE Fellowship and putting together your first IRB protocol, maybe your first small grant submission, or you are somebody who is very established in your field, you have put in many successful NIH or PCORI or AHRQ grants, Accords really has the ability to accommodate all levels of researchers. And how does this get done? Well, that's the second aspect of Accords that I think is so unique. And that's the multidisciplinary nature of Accords. It is truly one of the most multidisciplinary spaces on campus that I can imagine. And I run a multidisciplinary clinic, and it's not nearly as multidisciplinary as Accords. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we sit down at Accords for a works in progress meeting where we hammer some ideas that will become grant submissions, that will become clinical research projects, we sit around the table with a variety and diversity of perspectives. It's amazing. There are pediatricians, there are adult internists, family medicine doctors, neurosurgeons, you name it from the medical field, and they're around the table. But it's not just limited to the medical field. There really is additional unique perspectives that happen at Accords and are always present from biostatistics, from public health, community engagement, qualitative research. It really brings together people around the table to think about a very focused idea, but in a very broad way. So my third and final thought about Accords is why this multidisciplinary environment, this place where so many different minds can come together and work on common grants, why is it so successful? And I think that it in large part has to do with proximity. I remember as a first-year fellow in 2010 sitting around the works in progress table and wondering why the heck we had to put in this standard line of my PI's office is 10 feet from my fellow cubicle, and this is really important. Like, is the NIH really going to pay attention to this? And over the years, it started to become more apparent, but it really hasn't clicked until the last few years. And the last few years, I really understand the sentiment of this seemingly trite line. There is something magical about being able to walk into a work in progress section and maybe work with somebody on some of their ideas and think about putting together specific aims, revising a specific aims, or thinking about a certain methodologic approach, and then walking out and thinking kind of while you're in the hallway, wow, I think I can apply this to some of my research. And while you're continuing to walk in the hallway, passing by your mentor's door and sticking your head in and saying, hey, I had this idea that I think I can pull off. Can we talk for a minute? And walking into that mentor's door and having a conversation that forms the seed of an idea that becomes one of your next grants. And it's this type of proximity, whether it's walking into a statistician's office and having a good conversation, or being at the coffee pot and saying, hey, I got a new data set that I think you could probably use to answer one of the questions I know you're looking at. It's that kind of synergy, that kind of collaboration that is made possible by proximity that really allows Accords to be such a unique place. So all that having been said, Accords it's a unique place on campus. It supports all levels of clinical researchers, people who are learning for the very first time, people who are teaching to learners for the first time, and everybody in between. Brings together minds from various perspectives with various expertise, and it allows everybody to be next to each other and sit around the table. And that's one of the things that I really look forward to as we return to some sense of normalcy over the next few months, is getting back to having my colleagues sit around a table and think about an idea that will turn into a grant and a project down the road. Zoom has been wonderful and has made sure that all of the things that need to happen to keep all of our projects going happen. But one of the truly magical things that happens at Accords is, again, those chance encounters of walking down the hallway, sitting down around a table with a bunch of colleagues from different specialties, different disciplines, and watching an idea turn from something that is a germ of an idea into a fully realized grant. It is truly exceptional, and it happens at Accords all the time.